Good evening, friends and family, and thank you for coming to another night with Repair, Restore, and Grow Black Communities Behind Black Business. And here we have another special guest, and I'm definitely going to say a gem here, Kristian Goens, and
Yes,
he is
ma'am.
the founder of Glass Grass Landscaping. And I know he does a good job because he takes care of my lawn. All right. So, very happy to have you here. And thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us tonight.
I appreciate you for inviting me the opportunity. So I like to
Absolutely.
take I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely, Christian. And family, as you know, we're a nonprofit organization and we're working to circulate dollars in our community. And a lot of it, um, has to do with how our communities are looking, what's happening and what's not happening in our communities are all based a lot on how much the dollars that we're spending are staying in our communities. And so that's why we started this organization. We want to enhance the awareness and support of our Black businesses in our community. It should be a no brainer, but it's just not what is happening. And so we bring these wonderful businesses to you every Wednesday night to let you know all of the great people that we have out here and the work that they are doing. And so it is very important that we support our businesses. And as you know, we are great supporters of our bookstores. Our bookstores are blossoming here in Chicago. When we first started this podcast or this organization, Christian, um, we only had a couple of Black bookstores. We used to have like 22 Black bookstores here in Chicago. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I didn't
Um,
know that.
yeah, we had a bunch of bookstores. People were reading like I don't know what, and we were down to two. And so there is a resurgence of Black bookstores here in Chicago. So if you go to our website at rrgbc.org, we're listing the bookstores as they are opening here. And we want you to support those bookstores. And we feature a Black bookstore on our website every month. Actually, we're doing it, stretching it out to 2 months now. And because we want you to support these bookstores. Our bookstores for this month is Burst Into Books. Burst Into Books, they are located in Roseland at 119 East 107th Street. They're open Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 6 and Saturday from 10 to 5. Their phone number is 872-702-4998, and their website is burstintobooks.com. There's a lot going on at this bookstore. And so you're going to have to go to their website and see all of the different events, all of the different book clubs. They're just more than a bookstore. They're operating as a community hub. And it's just a wonderful place for children and adults to visit and partake in the different activities that they have. And we go a little step further. We give a book away at the end of the 2 month cycle. And the book that we're giving away this month is Rest in Resistance. This book is a book about a movement that encourages people to connect to the liberating power of rest, daydreaming, and naps as a foundation for healing and justice. It challenges grind culture and dehumanizing systems. It's tied to the Black community due to the level of discrimination, racism, and abuse faced by Black people for generations. If you want to win a copy of this book, Rest is Resistance, and it's by Tricia Hersey All you have to do is go to rrgbc.org and subscribe. We
Gotcha.
pay for the book. We want you to go to the bookstore to purchase, to pick the book up rather. But if you can't, we will also pay for shipping. But we really want to get people into these bookstores and see just how wonderful they are. And hopefully, those of you who are readers, you will find books that you like. Those of you who haven't been reading, you may be inspired to get back into reading. So please go to rrgbc.org and subscribe so you can become a possible winner of our book giveaway. And we also support the Southside Community Federal Credit Union, who has been in our community for over 20 years. And they have all types of programs now for personal loans, car loans, micro business loans. They have different types of programs in place of these high payday loans that people are engaging in.
I had a
So
question.
they give,
What does your
yes.
history have to look like, considering like I'm a new business and I'm 18, so my credit history and all of that
Uh-huh.
hasn't been fully built yet. What is the credit history to get those types of loans and everything? What does that look like?
I I think the Southside Community Federal Credit Union would be a great place for you to go to because they do not just offer loans, but they also support you in terms of your financial literacy and understanding how to manage money, how to get credit, how to build your credit so that you can get these loans. And I believe that they would be willing to work with you. So you need to give the Southside Community Federal Credit Union a call. They are located at 55th and Wentworth, right there in the mall. They're at the back of the mall. Greg Brown is the president of the Southside Community Federal Credit Union, and I'm sure he would be very excited to work with you and make something happen.
Most definitely. I'm all of this
Okay?
down right now.
Yeah, you taking this all down. Absolutely. That's what it's all about. And then we ask you to, whereas we go back to our bookstores, this is a project that we're working on. We want our schools, we want our public libraries to support our bookstores. And so if you go to Support Black Bookstores Chicago at change.org, you can sign our petition so that when we go to our elected officials or we go to the Chicago Public Schools, they will know that we have a lot of people that are in support of this. If our businesses, our bookstores in particular, can get contracts from the schools and the libraries with the books that they purchasing them from our bookstores, this will really help them to thrive. And it's not something that is unheard of. It occurs in other municipalities, and it should be happening here in
Most
Chicago. So please go to Save Black Bookstores Chicago at change.org and sign our petition. Okay. So, and also, we have a website where you can purchase items and you can make donations to our organization, which helps us to do some of the work that we're doing. We've helped some businesses get websites. We fought for some businesses to stay open. We're here to do whatever we can to support our Black businesses here in Chicago. Okay. All right. So,
yes, ma'am.
Kristian, um, as I mentioned earlier, the reason we have this podcast is because of the lack of support of our businesses in our communities. And I don't know if you have heard about how long the dollar circulates in the Black community as opposed to other communities. Have you heard about
I
that?
definitely have. That's actually something I was recently speaking on. I have a client, and there was a guy I was working with one day, and he was mentioning how the difference between a lot of the communities, especially within the black communities versus like Hispanics, whites, etc. He said that they
Mm-hmm.
keep their money within their communities. And for
That's
a
right.
black landscaper such as myself, I'm always trying to get the next client. I'm looking for the next biggest thing. I'm searching for our next job. And there are just certain communities that it's not that I'm not welcome there, but they wouldn't even think twice
Mm-hmm.
about taking my service because they're so locked in with their own. So as we're trying to come out,
Absolutely.
these like even with Hispanic communities, because mind you, majority of the landscaping industry is is Hispanics or mixed races,
Yes.
and they stay locked
Mm-hmm.
in with their people. Like they will
Mm-hmm.
not think twice about working with somebody else because they know their person is going to take care of them, and that's who they're going to look forward to. That's who they're going to keep the money circulating into every time. So like
That's
having that having that be acknowledged, especially within the black community,
right. Mm-hmm.
that would be big. It doesn't circulate a lot
That's
within
right.
our community.
No, it does not. As a matter of fact, when we look at the Asian community, their dollar circulates about 30 days in their community. It stays there for 30 days. The Jewish community, um, based on what I've read recently, is 20 days. The white community, 17 days. The Latino community, 7 days. And the black community, 6 hours.
What? 6 hours?
Yes, this is how long our money stays in our community. And so, unfortunately, um, and this is not about, downing any other ethnic group. I guess people are doing what they have to do to thrive. But the unfairness of it is that people come into our community, they set up businesses, and as you say, they will only work with their people. You're into the landscaping business. So if they're going to hire a landscaper, if they're going to purchase products for their landscaping business, they're going to work with their own people. And this is what has been happening here in this country, is that these different ethnic groups have been only working with their own people, circulating the dollar amongst themselves, building building communities here in America, and also creating generational
Yeah.
wealth for
Yeah.
their children. And many of these people will tell you straight out, you know, I can't do business with you, or I'm not going to sell my business to you because this is for my generational wealth. This is for
Yep.
my people. And that's just a lot of nerve to come into someone else's community and have them spending money with you and you taking the money out like that. And this is why our communities are looking like
Mm-hmm.
they are, because
Gotta
that's
keep the
what's happening.
resources in.
And if you said this to, if a white person said this to a black person, they would scream, "Oh, discrimination, discrimination." Well, why isn't what the other ethnic groups doing not discrimination? See, and so that's why with this book, in our part of our book giveaway, this is just another strategy that someone has come up with to try to deal with this systematic these oppressive policies and actions amongst other people that adversely impact the Black community. And it's been going on since slavery, since after slavery. Is
Yep.
And so it's why it's very important that we support our businesses. And when I'm so impressed how you talked about the fact that you have a concern for your community.
Most
And you're not
most
just in this for the money. So if you'd like to speak to that, family, we're talking to Kristian Goens, founder of Glass Landscaping. We're having a conversation here right now. We want to talk about your landscaping business about the foundational issues that we're having in our community around our businesses. So,
Yeah.
would you like to speak to the idea of how you feel about businesses in our community?
I will say this, right? As you said, the dollar doesn't circulate within our community at all, for real. But the black businesses that are in our community, they don't get any recognition. And with that, I want to say, I think we aren't aware of how much resources we can take advantage of. And
Mm-hmm.
when they aren't like out in our communities, or they aren't, how do you say this? I wanna make a point with this. So pretty much, I guess, say it like this, pretty much, we need to take advantage of the resources that we have, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
those resources are provided by black owned businesses. There's a lot of holistic healing. There's landscaping companies black owned. There are
Sure.
markets, grocery markets, black owned. Resources such as this, where you have podcasts that are black owned as well, they should be taken advantage of. And we don't look for this all the time. We probably stuck up on, what's the latest on the next drama TV show, or man, Superman just did this. We're not
Mm-hmm.
in tune with what's going on. And I think we just need to take advantage of that. That's why I was able to push out my landscaping company, because there was a necessity. There was a necessity
Mm-hmm.
in the black community where we don't have proper landscaping. There's not a lot of landscaping businesses within our communities,
Mm-hmm.
nor do they service them, especially around Inglewood, those types of areas, King Drive. Like, we need to be over there, because that's where we need it the most. Like, your landscaping is a large part of your property value and your
Absolutely.
neighborhood expectations. So
Mm-hmm.
even just for your community, right? For your neighborhood, it's a necessity for the landscape to look perfect.
That's
You
right.
all have a certain expectation, a certain standard that the neighborhood is set to. So when somebody does mess up, is on the ground. Like, we're on top of that. That's how it has to be for a lot of black communities, especially within poverty. We need to set that standard so that everybody can come collectively come together to set that, or to push that out. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why I came out. We were kind of a political event. It was an alderman, and they were talking about what's needed from the black community. What do we have to do in order to get us out of this constant state where we feel like we're in poverty, or where we aren't getting enough money in these communities. Our landscaping looks bad. All of this is affecting the mentality of
Sure.
black community. So us coming up, mind you, it was three of us at the beginning. There were three of us, and we were all coming out of high school. We thought to ourselves, if we have a landscape company, we're small, obviously, and at that point, it wasn't necessarily about making money. It was about how do we get ourselves out to the point where we're known within these communities, where people can see us and be like, oh yeah, I know them. They're really good at what they do. They'll do it to this expectation, and we know that they'll give us this type of quality. So we were
Mm-hmm.
looking for those types of jobs that can showcase our portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
With that, we wanted to take the alderman on this deal, right? And that's actually, I think that's how we met you, through the
That's
alderman.
how I met. I made a phone call. I was looking for someone,
That's
and my
amazing.
alderman referred you to me.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so we were pushing out um we were pushing out community development, community beautification. In our heads, we're like, man, if we do enough properties, and I'm definitely about like feeding poverty. Like, I want to get us out of that. I don't even want that to be seen like that's something that happens to black people specifically. So
Mm-hmm.
my thoughts is, man, we should go into these neighborhoods and we should do their landscaping. So we were able to like eventually push that out towards the future. We've recently done that now, with our partnership with Urban Mail Network. We have been able to service a couple of properties. We'll mow a couple of people's lawns specifically for free, and
Mhm.
all you have to do is sign a QR code. So we were able to push it out, but the fact that it was that hard to push out a free service, we don't take advantage of these types of opportunities, of these resources that we're given in the Black community. I think that's what hurts us.
So they didn't even want to take advantage of a free service? Is that what you're
Kid you not,
saying?
Miss Denise, I was selling a free service. I was back and forth with this lady, and she was a little bit older. I was telling her like, man, I see you out here. You have a manual push mower. Please, it's overgrown. Let me finish out your property. She argued with me, said no, thanked me
Why
for
was
it,
she
but
saying no? Why was she saying no? Did she give a reason?
yeah, she said she wanted to do it for her exercise, but I feel like when the lawn is over a foot tall and you have a manual mower, it's not automatic, it's not gas powered, it's
Hmm.
not electric.
It's
You
hard.
could probably wait till the next week to get your exercise in. I wouldn't want you out here doing that. And I spent back to property probably like a couple of days later, and she didn't finish it. I wanted to do it, but I don't have permission
Hmm.
at that point to be on the property. So I had to let it go. But that's just something that we don't take advantage of. We get opportunities like this that we aren't taking advantage of.
I think this is a reflection of a lack of trust, you
Mm,
know, in our communities with our people. We have some really good people out here, and then we have people out here that have taken advantage, especially of seniors, you know, doing all kinds of work around the home,
mm,
whether it's lawn care, whether it's your other property maintenance issues with plumbing and electrical, because all of that type of work, we do need to get stronger with our skill level and in terms of our ethics, our business ethics. And this is one thing that I would say that I truly do like about you, Christian. And I know there have been times when I've asked you to do something, and maybe I say, well, I would like it done this way, or can you come back and fix this? And you have never hesitated, and you have always been respectful. And so how could I not work with someone like that? Because everybody wants to be heard, and it's my lawn, and I know how I want it to look. Now you have a professional opinion that I would respect, but a lot of people out here just backing up your work, because anyone that does something can always not be perfect, or something can go wrong, or something maybe can be changed just because of someone's perspective. And if that's the case, as the person that's providing the service, you should be willing to satisfy your customer.
most definitely.
And unfortunately, a lot of people do not have that type of mindset. I think it's a part of business. We live in a capitalist system on individual businesses. And in that individual business, it's about my business. That's how else could you take your business to another country just so you can make more money and charge them less wages? Your
Right.
concern about the people here in this country that maybe helped you build this business is not there. It's all about the individual. And I think we've gotten too much into that. And as you mentioned earlier, not having a collective mindset, and to understanding, if I do business with you, it's me. And I would say to businesses. Okay, and it is coming back.
Yeah, you going out a little bit. I can't hear you.
I'm going out a little bit. I have a connection here, and this possibly could be happening because of the weather. But can you see me now?
Yes, ma'am. I hear you now. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, as I was saying, as Black people spend their money with Black business owners need to be conscious and aware of spending their dollars with other Black businesses. And this is how these other ethnic groups are, uh, progressing in this country because they are supporting each other. And so it doesn't help me to spend my dollars with you, and you're going to take those dollars and go spend them outside of the community.
Hmm. I think
So that has to happen as well.
I want to say
Mm-hmm.
this. I think another narrative on this as well would be, and it's not even our fault actually for a part of this. A lot of Black businesses have only recently started, and a lot of them aren't necessarily within many industries. I will
Mm-hmm.
say, like, to an extent, um, because I'm thinking of it now. I'm like, I have a couple of people who actually own businesses that are Black owned, but then
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the large scale projects that I have to do, if I'm picking up like dirt, if I'm picking up mulch, stuff like that, I can't think off the top of my head about many Black landscaping like businesses that would offer that type of product.
They would have the
So
mulch and the equipment that you need. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I can't think of that. I think a lot of it is because, like, to an extent, we're not as developed either.
Mm-hmm.
We're not as developed within our businesses where we can take it to that next level, and then it's not like I said, it's also not even when it's publicized, it's like we can't take advantage of it because we don't know it's there. I
Right.
really cannot think off the top of my head that if there are any black owned businesses that serve or that sells the type of products that I would need as well. So
Right.
that's another narrative that I just wanted to put out there. That's kind of crazy to me.
Yep,
Hmm.
absolutely. And actually, as you're pulling together with other people, you're going into this business, this is a discussion to have. How can we create more legs here so that I can begin to purchase my products from you? And then it gets down to the manufacturing level. When you're not, who's producing the mulch, or who's making the lawnmowers, who's making the blowers, do we have manufacturing plants? I think it needs to go there, you
Yeah,
know and where you're going to get your materials from, you know to actually do that,
that's
and
crazy.
then train the people to build these products. And it is not beyond our people, because
Absolutely.
initially we were the builders. We were because we did all the labor. When slavery was over, Black people were the more skilled workers because we did all the labor. We cooked, we cleaned, we built homes, you know, and we have so many inventions that we have provided for this country because of the labor that we were engaged in. And so it's not beyond our people, but it's something that we need. This is how we need to be thinking.
Yeah,
And once you have a thought and a vision in your mind, that's where it begins. You can figure out, okay, how am I going to make this happen?
yeah,
So those are the
yeah,
kind of discussions need to be had, you know, all the way what other people are doing. And then a lot of times when people come up with an invention or something, some product they want to sell, they think of China, going to China because you can get cheaper labor over there. You can get your products, over there manufactured and make a profit here. So that
hmm
that needs to change for sure.
hmm
At least
I
that's
wonder how
how.
My bad.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was
Yep.
just saying, how do we start pushing out that narrative as well? Because I guess even with the networks that I have, as far as like getting black business owners together, especially young adults around our age, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
18. I was 17 when I first started. So I'm younger
Okay.
coming into the industry, but even having like older men, younger men having like these types of talks or conversations about what we need
Mm-hmm.
to do in order to keep that money circulating within our community, they don't
Mm-hmm.
have these types of talks. And I think we need to push that out more. Yeah, you're right. We do.
That's right. That needs to happen. And if there are resources on the table, the banks need to be addressed. Your local politicians need to be addressed. I mean, this is what they should be talking about to you. How can we help you to do this? You have this idea. How can we make this happen? Because it makes no sense to look at the south side and the west side of Chicago and see all of these abandoned buildings, and most of the businesses are owned by Arabs and Asians. And then you go on the north side and your head is turning around like an owl with all of the businesses that they have
Man,
over there.
it's bad.
Any type of business. And I know you know what I'm talking about. You go down Milwaukee, you go down Chicago Avenue, you go down North Avenue. I mean, you just looking and it's just any kind of business. Somebody just thought of something and they
They
open up,
opened
they
it up.
open up a business. All kind of hair care, clothes, boutiques, stores for the dog, for the pets, stores for the children, of a different kind of donuts and just everything. None of the big box stores like what we have here, but they come up with all different types of donut creations, and somebody is providing them with the resources to do that. And that should be equally happening in our
Hmm.
communities. So that's the kind of discussion, and I'm sure the aldermen and local banks where you're getting your financial resources are
Most,
supporting this. You know,
I
that's
don't.
right. So that's what needs to happen.
Who is providing them the resources?
That's a good question. That's a good question. They're getting who is doing that? That's the kind of question you want to sit down with our alderman Yancey and have a
Yeah.
discussion about. You know,
Oh,
where are the resources? Because there are dollars that go into a general fund for the city of Chicago every year, and where those dollars going? And we're putting our monies in. Many people have their accounts. You may have an account at one of the major banks, Citibank, Bank America,
yeah.
Chase. Our monies are sitting in these banks. So what are the banks doing?
Hmm.
So that's where you get your group together and have a conversation with the bank
Yeah.
managers or with the heads of the corporations of these banks and your local politicians and black leaders,
Hmm. I think.
because the South Shore did not always look like this. There was a time when there were a number of black businesses here in the South Shore area.
Dang. So I think I think outside of having that conversation, we need to we do need to find out where the resources are coming from because a
That's
lot
right.
of it, you're right.
And then we can begin to pool our resources together. After slavery and the Reconstruction, Black people created over 4,000 schools in the South by pooling their resources together. You know, so what are we doing? What are we doing with the dollars that we have? So these are the kind of discussions that need to be had.
Yeah. They don't teach you about it at all.
Hmm.
They, uh,
Absolutely, absolutely. And so you're an entrepreneur, obviously, because you had another business before you started this
yes,
one,
ma'am.
right? And what business did you have before you started your glass grass landscaping?
Before I started Glass Grass Landscaping, I always started Your Perfect Promotion. So Your Perfect Promotion was a one-stop shop for business development services. We were doing website design, social media marketing. We were doing event coordination as well as photography, and even added along a little bit later, we started doing food catering. So that business, it had a lot of potential. It had a lot of potential. I
Okay.
just don't think that we were able to push it out enough, as well as like
Hmm.
I wasn't able to manage three businesses as well. I tried to, but to an extent it kind of flipped on me and I had to push towards landscaping because I knew that this business aligned me with something that was greater than that to an extent. It aligned me with something that was greater than that
Okay.
as far as purpose. And then we were also connecting with a lot more people. Um our networks, I'll say it like that. Our networks got very deep doing landscaping over that. So
Hmm.
it put us in a lot of good rooms.
So why did you feel this was more impactful landscaping than your technology piece that you had going on?
Number one, technology is ever growing. There's always a new invention with technology, and currently, right now, you have AI. AI is going to chop a lot of jobs away. It's bad.
Mm.
Good as far as technology, bad when it comes to workforce development, especially within the technology industry.
Okay.
So with AI, it was taking a lot of website designs. Mind you, like it's easier than ever
Hmm.
now to create a website through AI than just doing it on your own. If I give it a prompt, you now have a fully built website. Then,
Hmm.
as far as like the event coordination, everything like that, we were getting sales, but even then, that was kind of lower. And with landscaping, you're offered so much more. Our revenue came in more consistent outside of doing those one-time jobs. And then
Hmm.
we were also young. So having that social image where like, man, I have these 17, 18-year olds who are servicing our black community right now, and they are doing
Hmm.
this many properties, maybe 100 or so properties, and they're helping with these things, etc. It looks very good on our resume. That's like the building
Hmm.
portion. So now
Okay.
with our representation as far as like the business itself, as well as like how we're actually helping the black communities too, it works together
Hmm.
so good. Now I'm not I'm not going out to or I'm not going out of my way to go and find new clients for our business, or I'm not like killing myself um trying to make the business work. It's like I know what I'm going to see tomorrow, and then I know outside of that we're booked for so many projects afterwards. It's like, dude, it's it's comforting for me as young as I am to have something built, such as this business. So it's like we get to help the community. I'm not worried about like when I'm gonna make my next dollar or something. And at the end of the day, it's like it's going in so many directions. I don't know how big this thing could get. I know I see
Okay.
a vision for how far we can go with it, but
Hmm.
outside of like your perfect promotion versus glass grass landscaping is definitely on top.
And
It's definitely
word. I still feel word of mouth is very powerful. So you're doing someone's lawn, and someone's looking at your lawn, and they like what you who's doing your lawn. Give them a phone
yes,
number, tell them to contact. Um, and like you said, there's such a great need for it. And it has a direct impact on the community because the community looks better. it looks beautiful. It looks nice when your lawn is taken care of, and
Yes.
it makes a difference. And it should make people that live in these homes want to keep the community looking nicer. So they may go and pick up the trash. I got all this nice cut grass out here,
Mhm.
and somebody just threw some pop bottles or whatever. I'm gonna go out here and pick this up.
Yeah,
So it does have an impact on the aesthetics of our communities, which is important,
definitely
you know.
important. Because
Hmm.
then you're no longer like, you're not looking at this neighborhood like it's the hood. You're not looking at the
Hmm.
neighborhood like it's something that's not taken care of. When
Right.
you're driving through that neighborhood and you see that the landscape looks nice, the beautiful homes, every house is big on this block, or even just the
Hmm.
houses look nice. They look touched, like people care about them.
That's right.
You're going to automatically care about that neighborhood. Like
That's right.
you're gonna be like, you know what? Let me just throw this trash in a bag while we driving around. I ain't even gonna throw it
Hmm.
outside. It looked too nice for you to want to. So it's like that affects the mindset of whoever is in that community, whether they live there or not. It
And it
helps.
affects
It
the
helps.
property value. How your
Yeah.
house looks affects the value
Yes.
of your property. Absolutely.
Um,
Shows
be-
that you care. Let's
yeah.
spend a little time talking about the services that you provide. Now, I know there's landscaping services and then there's garden maintenance. So,
Yes, ma'am.
landscaping services, are you working with people to help them to plan and design, you know, how their yard, their landscaping may look? Are you involved in it at that level?
I will say this. Coming out of Kenwood, there's been a lot of connections that I've made.
Hmm.
Um, we do offer that service. With Kenwood, I've partnered, or I have someone, I would say, that I partnered with, and he's deeply involved with wanting to help the community. When there are properties that have been neglected, or even it's just people looking to do something with their homes, they want to help out with those types of projects, with seeing the future of what that landscape could look like. And
Hmm.
we definitely offer that service. So we'll help you design what you want to place, as far as like if you want to do mulch, if you want to do rock installations, we do sod installations, everything. Like if you want to change your landscape, that's something that we offer. And all you have to do is ask, like, yes, we will.
Okay, so you're laying sod and um, putting up plants and installing
Yes,
trees and
ma'am.
that kind of work. Okay, and creating. I know a lot of people like to create outdoor living
Yes,
spaces where they can come out and they have a patio. This is just showing, this discussion we're having now is showing just how far this
most
can
definitely.
go. You know, absolutely. Where so when you're starting to talk about building out the outdoor spaces, now you're talking about driveways and decks and you know making designs around all of
Yeah,
that.
I think that's our next.
Am I correct?
That's definitely our next level, because we can handle the greenery landscape, or a portion of landscape, but I definitely want to get into hardscape, and that's like the types of connections that I'm making now. How do I get into this
Yes.
industry? Um, as a famous Rick Ross says, don't leave money on the table. So if we're able to help out with these types of designs, or whatever this client has in mind for their yard, their
Hmm.
outdoor living space,
Yes.
we definitely want to be able to make that from a dream to reality.
Right.
And I don't know why, but I guess from what you just said, it just made me think about like how far we actually came. That's a big step. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah, that you're even able to talk about that right now.
Yeah, it was a time, right? There was a time when we first started, and I'm talking like this, like our first, like within our 3 to 5 months, 3 to 5 months. It's like probably when we first started servicing you.
Hmm.
All of our equipment broke down. We
Mm.
were we were on the last lawnmower. The last lawnmower, it broke at the last property. Our trimmer, we didn't know how to maintain it, so the trimmer went out at the last property. We had our blower go out at the last property. Everything slammed on us at this last property. And mind you, the
Hmm.
yard is no bigger than probably 100 square feet. So it's supposed to be something really quick for us. Everything stopped working, and I was looking at this like, man, we got a landscaping company with no landscaping equipment. I don't know how we doing. This man, one of my partners at the time, he went in the car. He went in the car, and I really thank him for like having this type of determination and drive to actually finish out the job.
Hmm.
Man went into the car and he grabbed a pair of scissors. He grabbed a pair of scissors and he started
Oh,
up the rest of the lawn. Snip, snip.
um,
That that hit hard.
that is determination.
Yes, that really hit hard. So like when I think of where we are now, we stacked up on lawnmowers, we stacked up on trimmers. Like I'm not
Okay.
thinking about if our equipment is gonna go out. I'm thinking about, man, what's our next move to expand? What equipment do we
Okay.
need to get to make sure that this goes faster and faster every time? So, yeah, the development of this business, it came a long
Wow.
way. It came a long way. So,
Wow.
definitely thank you
Wow.
those founding partners. And
How many people are working with you?
right now we got about what? One, two, three, four, five. We have about 6 people. We have about six
Okay.
people,
Okay.
and majority of them are actually under 21.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
that's
they all
crazy.
they're all in with you. They're
Most
100%.
we have like some of the young men we have working help on project days. Some of them help with lawn maintenance, and we have those days like set out. So I had to eventually set a schedule for us
Hmm.
because at the time, I was in school, so whatever time I could get out of school and finish out this project, that was the time that we were taking. But
Hmm.
that would go on any day planned because I was just trying to push this out. Now
Hmm.
we work on mainly Mondays and Tuesdays. It's a regular like 9 to 5 days. So we got those 8 hour shifts where we're booking in maybe 3 to 5 projects a day. And then with our lawn maintenance that we do on those Fridays and Saturdays, that's like consistent. That's coming in every time. So we actually stay booked, we stay scheduled, and I'm able to give my men like time to rest. Their
Hmm.
bodies are rejuvenating. I'm not worried about them burning out, and they genuinely like what they're doing. Like I
Okay.
haven't seen people that I haven't seen people that happy to come to work. So it's like that's really beautiful. Well, like what we
Yes,
have,
it
man.
is. Yes, it is. Wow. And see, now this is a great story because we hear so many negative. Well, there's so much negative commentary about our young people in our community, but we have people like you and other people that are out here, making it work, caring and doing a good work, and have a good a job, a good business, job opportunities for other people. I'm sure you're inspiring someone. Someone is looking at you and looking at what you're doing, and they're being inspired by that.
I hope
So
so.
your contributions to making the community look more aesthetically beautiful, and the work that you're doing is it's like you little light. There's this little church song called "This Little Light of Mine." Well, your light
Let
is shining. Your light is shining. I'm
Thank
very
you.
proud of you.
I appreciate.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
we talked about the hardscaping, as you mentioned, which is something you're looking forward to, and then there's the planting, uh, where you're helping to select places and caring for different types of plants. A lot of people really don't know how involved it is to take care of a lawn. Certain plants have to be put in certain places. You have to worry about diseases and weeds, and you're going to talk about that a little bit.
I will
As far
say
as care.
this: the maintenance is definitely overlooked. A lot of
Mhm.
people, like you said, don't know. exactly like what they may want. They don't know what type of services to look for as far as maintaining their yard, or to make sure that it consistently is maybe weed free. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
our yard dying out, so they don't know how often they should water their grass, or they just don't, a lot of people genuinely just don't know how to necessarily take care of their lawn. So having a younger man like, and I'm coming to you telling you like, hey, these are the things that we need to implement. I need you to water your lawn. I need you to spray this over your lawn. And then it's like with our prices as well, we can only go so low. We can only go so low. So we can help them out as much as possible, because like I said, it's not that we're a charity, but we're a business as well.
Sure.
So at the end of the day, I'm looking to help them out as much as I can without feeling like I'm taking a loss. And then
Mm-hmm.
entering that nonprofit industry, like I've been involved with a lot of nonprofit organizations recently. Having them like come out and then kind of partnering with us to where we can help people as a
Mm-hmm.
charity,
Mm-hmm.
that's making the biggest impact,
Okay.
because I'm not losing my structure as a business, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
able to help people as a charity. And taking care of these lawns, having them like, hey, these are like the services that you need. It's overlooked and people aren't necessarily educated on it, especially within the
Mm-hmm.
Black community. It's like, man, I'm not a property owner. Okay, cool, let me help you out, because I can teach you all of this. And if it's not me teaching you, man, it's a lot of knowledge out here to be taken. Like you
That's
said,
right.
these books out here, you can read
Mm-hmm.
these.
That's
You can
right.
read these. Get
Right.
a lot of knowledge from these. So it's like we try to push out whatever we know and whatever like resources available that the clients are able to take care of. But when it comes to lawn maintenance, yes, is very, it'll go right over your head, and you would think that you know exactly what you're talking about, and the whole time it's another story. So yeah,
And
it's
see,
deep.
nobody gives you a handout and says, okay, now that you have this home, these are the things that you're going to have to address to maintain this house. And the landscaping is a part of it. This is what you need to do to maintain your grass and the landscaping. And because you will go into some of our communities and you see beautiful lawns, and then all of a sudden, things are not looking so nice.
You
And the
know what?
grass is going bad, and everything, so it is about what you know. I think if we knew better, we would do better.
Most definitely.
I think.
Um,
I think.
I think pushing that out, that narrative, definitely, that's something that, I keep going to this, but that's something that we got to work on. That's all that is.
Hmm.
It's nothing on the Black community. We as we continue to develop, it's just knowledge that, or knowledge and conversations that we just have to have. And like you said, with we don't get that type of list telling you
Hmm.
you need to have these things done with your landscaping, your plumbing. You have carpentry that probably needs to be done. Like, we don't get
Hmm.
these these lists, these handouts given to us. We have to learn it on our own. So that would definitely be that would be a good industry probably to get
Hmm.
into, giving people that
And I
type of
think
knowledge.
even you as your customers, maybe that's something you can put together for your
Oh,
customers. And something, this is what I'm going to be doing to keep up your lawn, and this is what I need you to do.
most
One, two, three,
definitely.
four, five. These five to do so that we can keep your lawn looking beautiful.
Yes,
Hmm.
man.
So you
I
have
think
a
pushing.
relation.
My
I'm sorry.
bad.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. I was saying, I think pushing out that communication, that's something that we've been able to thrive on.
Hmm.
Like when we first started, a lot of it was actually a lot of it was our clients weren't able to understand other landscapers. Like, they didn't know what they were talking about, or they weren't having those conversations with them as
Hmm.
far as what is needed to upkeep this property. So
That's
they felt like they're putting money out and they don't know where it's going. And
hmm
you spending 30, 50, 80, 90. dollars on your lawn, and you look around like, man, what happened to the property?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it got like this. If I'm paying for the maintenance and I'm doing this, what's going on over here? So like when it comes to our communication with the clients, I think that's something that we've been able to thrive on, especially considering like the types of deals that we do, the types of offers we have, our customer engagement. Like we don't just service your line throughout the years, or throughout the year you have these different opportunities to get this service discounted, or maybe you refer us to this many clients or whatever, and you could get your lawn done for free. Like we offer these types of deals so that our clients understand, like, you're not just money to us, we care about you as much as we you care about us, and we gonna
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you're satisfied, and like it's a mutual benefit. So yes, communication has worked a lot pushing out this business.
Absolutely. Well, Kristen at Glass, Grass, Landscaping. um, I would say you have very good communication skills, and you do care about your customers, and the people skills is very important. You know, so and people who out here cutting grass, it's more always you have to have a respect for what it is that you're doing, and it's more
Mm,
than just getting a lawnmower and going and cutting somebody's grass. You know,
yeah,
there's a skill level that goes on here. So did you have a lot of training and support in that area, would you say? Or
I keep getting this question. I did not have any. I didn't have any training, Miss
no, you
Denise.
didn't? No training.
It was a lot of
Okay.
trial and error. It was a lot of trial and
Trial
error.
and error.
Like, people ask me that, like, man, how do you know how to install side? I don't know how I learned it. I was doing it, and the property came out looking good. I know what's needed, and with
Mm-hmm.
my equipment, I just know how to make the best of what I have. So
Okay.
there was a time where we had, like, I won't say it was an anchor of property, but it was a very large property, and we I was asking my dad. I'll say it like this. I was asking my dad, I wanted his advice. I was like, man, we got this large property. I know we need a zero turn, some type of ride on lawnmower. It was coming at the end of the season, and he told me, it was like, man, you got to make the best of what you got. If you ain't got the money right now to push it to that zero turn or something, you got to use that lawnmower. So he
Mm-hmm.
came out, used the lawnmower. It's posted on our Instagram and everything, so you can actually view it. But like that's just it's just something that I learned on the way, making use of what you already have. Sometimes you're not given everything with with a silver spoon. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
if you got a wooden spoon, you got to make it work. If you got a plastic spoon, use it gently. Make sure it don't break. That's all that
There
is.
you go.
That's all that is. So we learned that.
What is your advice to those people? A lot of people say that they want to have their own business,
Ooh,
and it's more than what people think, right?
that.
So what would be your advice to some, especially your peers that are out here thinking about starting their own business?
Hmm. I will say this. I will say this. I'll give out two opinions, right? I give out two opinions. Number one, for my age group, if you're thinking about starting a business and maybe you're unsure of what that business is or where you want to go with it, but you have a vision and you know you want to see something out of it, just do it. Don't
Mm-hmm.
don't don't like if you can research it enough to know what you're looking at as far as the business, but outside of that, don't wait too long to do it. Just go out and try it. It's the perfect time of our lives because we don't have a lot to lose. We don't have a
Mm-hmm.
lot to lose. We
That's
have
true.
nothing but time right now. So test it out, try it. If you want to, try it at a small scale. This was paper drawn. This was paper drawn.
Mm-hmm.
We looked at this like, man, I think we could do this many properties and maybe this might work out for us.
Mm-hmm.
It came to life. We started
In the
off with
life, it
zero
sure did.
clients and ended the year at 60. So
Mm-hmm.
we're going somewhere with this, and all you have to do is try. For the older, other people who are looking to start their business, I would say kind of similar to the same thing. Don't procrastinate. Sometimes you got to get thrown out to get your own foundation built. A lot of us, we actually, a lot, I won't say a lot of us, but a lot of people, you have stuff to lose. Maybe you have your own responsibilities and you like, man, I want to start this business, or I want to push this out now, but I don't want to lose my job. I got a house, I got mortgage to take care of, I have bills to
Mm-hmm.
pay.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes taking that type of risk is actually what you need. When I wasn't working for myself the whole time. I had to have money coming in from somewhere else to make sure that I was able to even live, like, and I'm not saying live like I was going, I was out on the streets, but I needed some type of income when nothing was coming into the business, because it's not going to be like that all the time. I was
Okay.
working at Uncle John's, and when I started getting more and more projects, more services that was getting pushed out, I wasn't able to come in as much. I would tell
Okay.
them, like, I'm putting the business first. Look, man, I gotta, I'm gonna be back on the clock, but right now I'm gonna need this day off. Something going on. Eventually, they pushed me off that clock. He took me off my time, and I was looking like, man, I'm coming in for the next day of work. I'm thinking, I'm finna work. I'm finna get some money. Maybe business ain't thriving as much. I gotta come back to something. Nah, you can't come back, man. You
Mm,
out. You out.
mm,
Come back later, but
okay.
not right now. You gotta do what you need to. So yeah, when it comes to it, look at where we are now. You might need that
Mm-hmm.
push. You might need that push, and
And
that
I
could
keep thinking about that. I keep thinking about cutting that grass with the scissors.
this is
Yeah,
yeah,
that's like okay, hey, it's all on you.
yeah. It's
How
all
we
on.
are talking to Kristian Goen, founder of Glass Grass Landscaping. Kristian, how can people get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with me through Instagram. I'm on Google, Facebook, what man, Indeed, or yeah, I'm on everything. Like, if you need to call us, contact us. My number is 224-421-5849. Call me, text me, anything. We are at your service. We're very easy to get in contact from. Please just call us.
Well, I can definitely vouch for you and your work, and you're a wonderful person to work with. And I'm very proud of the work that you're doing. And I want to thank you for coming on the show tonight.
I appreciate you, Mr. Denise.
And
And I appreciate you as
South Shore is going to be a much better place because of people like you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Okay, friends and family, thank you for coming, and you have a good night.